You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
It's good to be back.
Who forces him off the block. Hyman has hit the crossbar. McDavid a goal post here in the OT. McDavid beats one into the net. Turns Hyman.
Play around the boards, man. Watch this play by Corey Perry, the grizzled veteran. Skate to stick, and he finds McDavid with speed. And I mean, there's no chance for Jack Eichel, who's caught flat foot right here. Outside, inside, you're not going to slow down McDavid.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Freaky Friday edition of the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. Thanks for checking us out here and following me across the video platform. Awesome video platform that we have on my Twitter feed, on Twitter X at PShep326, on our Facebook pages, CSN Florida, Rumble Kick, YouTube, LinkedIn, SR1029 The Game. Wow. And always call or text the show 727-858-6650. Lots to get into today. Going to be a fun show today. Jerry Thornton, Barstool Sports, going to join me at 8 o'clock. We'll get into that in a little bit. Going to recap last night. Draymond Green at it again. And, says he's not an angry black man. Blah, the same old Draymond bullshit over and over again. The reason why I led with hockey is because it was I always try to lead the show with what I think is the most exciting play-by-play cut from the night before. And that certainly was wonderful. Edmonton does it again. And besides sports, we have a new pope out of the Big East, out of Villanova, Chicago Native American Cardinal Robert Francis Provost, a.k.a. Pope Leo the 14th. Big East rules, baby! We got one! Yes. Big East 1, ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, nothing in the Pope race. How about that, Angel Martinez? Good morning. How are you?
I took a shot and thought, all right, well, they said it's going to be have a new Pope. I'm like, oh, we have the first black Pope ever. Nope. What we did was get the first American Pope ever from Chicago, and who knew it? And they also mentioned, too, that he was handpicked by Pope Francis because he wasn't apparently part of, I don't know what they call the
Conclave?
Yeah, there you go. So he wasn't part of it, but he told him, listen, nope, I'm going to kind of create this new position for you. You're going to be the next guy to take over. And, hey, that was quick. I was expecting literally between 7 to 10 days.
I got to go back and see when he went to Villanova. Did he storm the floor? One of those guys for Villanova won in 85 over Georgetown. I mean, it's just. I saw an interview with his brother this morning. It was really fascinating. I guess growing up on the south side of Chicago and a Cubs fan is not an easy thing. So everybody's saying you got to be tough just for that alone. But it's pretty cool. Why do I get the feeling he's going to be more accessible to everybody? Not that Pope Francis wasn't, but I don't know. Is he ever going to come out and say, would he do this? Would he ever wear a Cubs hat out before Mass, at St. Basilica, St. Peter's Square? Would he wear a Cubs jersey or a Bears jersey? Wouldn't that be unbelievable?
Today, you never know. The first one that he'll have, maybe he'll wear it. Could you imagine, though, when the American tour happens? Because you know that he's going to come over here eventually.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Wait till he goes to Chicago. I mean, I'll guarantee. I bet you he goes to a Bears game. I will bet you he goes to a Bears game at some point this year. This year. Yep. That would be unbelievable. I mean, that would be
and then the thing was, like yesterday, I'm like, dang it. Pete kept saying, watch Conclave, and there's going to be a plot twist at the very end. I'm like, what's going to be the plot twist? I'm like, it's a plot twist.
There's a different sort of plot twist. I'm still not going to. If you want me to tell you the plot twist, I'll tell you the plot twist. At the very end, the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Not yet.
Big discussion. Okay, I won't say it yet. But most people kind of know by now, I think. I would think. It was a great movie. It really was. Anyway, welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show. Last night, the Edmonton Oilers come from behind again, or this time actually. Well, they're 5-4. They win. Leon Dre in overtime. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, right there, taking Draisaitl to pass from McDavid, as you just heard, scored off the rush. 15-20 of OT. Edmonton wins 5-4 over the Golden Knights of Las Vegas. Take a 2-game-to-none lead in that second round series. So really, really interesting. I think Vegas killed off a 5-minute penalty in overtime too, I believe. So you think they would have had the momentum, but no, Edmonton is just, they're resilient. Anyway, enough on that. We'll get to the Capitals. They, even their series with the Hurricanes, they win 3-1 last night. We'll have some highlights of that as well. The lone NBA playoff game last night happened, and not surprising, Minnesota did what they were supposed to do. The Celtics need to take a lesson from the Timberwolves and take care of business at home to even up that series. They should have won the first game. They played like crap after Steph Curry went down. They got chewed out by Coach Finch, and rightly so. But they clobber Golden State last night, 117-93 in that one out in the Target Center. They jumped out to a 14-point lead at halftime, and or in the first quarter, I should say, it was 29-15, and then they just cruised from there. Really good game once again from Julius Randle, had 24 and 11 assists. We'll get to some highlights, and of course, Draymond Green becomes the story once again for all the wrong reasons. But before that, let's give you a couple of highlights from this game last night, because there's a lot of people that have a lot to say once again, including Draymond Green, about Draymond Green. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Here's the Ant-Man.
For 9 before that.
Naz Reid finds himself open, missed it. DiVincenzo offensive board, Edwards got a 3.
That's DiVincenzo's 3rd offensive rebound already, and the last 2 have led to Wolves 3s, and that's Anthony
DiVincenzo
Edwards'
from
first
Angel?
From bucket of this series.
Villanova.
Wolves have missed 15
Villanova Day.
pointers in the first half in game 1. They missed 16 straight, actually. DiVincenzo the deflection. Here comes Alexander Walker. He lays it in. So the bench mob has come in, made an impact. Look at that score. Minnesota has arrived in this second round.
Oh, no question about it. And then Edwards went down with, so it looked like someone, fired a BB at him when he went down, and then miraculously got back up in the second half, because it looked like he wasn't going to come back into play. People comparing it to Paul Pierce back in the day when he left and then was in a wheelchair and everything else. We'll get to Paul Pierce in a second. He walked 20 miles yesterday because he lost a bet, which I have highlights of that too. But Anthony Edwards somehow, some way overcame, adjusted, and adapted, came back in the game. But Julius Randle had 24 and 11 last night. Anthony Edwards finished with 20 points after the injury scare for the T-Wolves, who made more than triple their three-point output, going 16 for 37 from their Game 1 loss when Curry was sidelined by the left hamstring. He's going to keep him out for at least next week. Alexander Walker added 20 to spearhead a unbelievable performance by the bench, combining with Dante DiVincenzo, as you heard, and Naz Reid to go 10 for 22 deep. The Warriors, all Steve Kerr could do. He played 14 guys last night. 14 guys. Tried everything. Jimmy Butler kind of got to take over. Got to score more than 17 and 7. It's not good enough without Steph Curry in there, and we'll see. I have a feeling that the Warriors will play much better when the scene shifts back to San Francisco tomorrow night, but we will see. 117-93 is the final, but the big story, I knew we weren't going to get through an entire Golden State postseason without Draymond Green becoming a big focal point in the story. Here's how it went down.
Again, Draymond Green draws the foul. Immediately, Tony Brothers indicates he's going to go take a look at it to see if the elbow caught the face of Reed, and apparently it did by that reaction.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got a chance. Got a chance to be upgraded to.
The ruling on the floor is a personal foul on Reed, followed by a dead ball technical foul on Green. Minnesota will shoot one shot, and then Golden State will have the ball on the side.
Very frustrated. He's got to get control of his emotions. I understand the frustration. is I don't think there was any intent there. But the referees are calling the game the way they expected him to. Steph Curry now trying to calm him down. Draymond making his case, which Steph understands. They're going to get Jimmy Butler back in the game for Draymond and try to get him away from the officials altogether. Very smart move by Steve Kerr right here. I mean, they're down 16 right now. They cannot afford another technical on him. And he's got to stay away from the crowd also. Yeah, I think if he's headed back, he's headed to the end of the bench. I'm not sure he shouldn't just go to the locker room and calm down a little bit.
Draymond Green after the game, short and sweet.
You look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
First of all, nobody gives a shit what color you are. If they do, then fuck them. You could be the angry purple man, the angry green man, whatever it is. You're an angry man on the floor. You're costing your team. You picked up yet another technical. His 5th technical foul of the playoffs. 5 already. 2 short of an automatic 1-game suspension for elbowing Naz Reid after Reid had just fouled him. And it was intentional. There's no question. And he has got to get – he's never going to change. So I don't know why we're even wasting our time. He is never going to change it. Stop with this angry black man shit. You brought this on yourself. The color of your skin doesn't matter. You brought this on yourself. And you know what? Someday somebody is just going to turn around and cold cock him right in the face and say, that's it. You want to be tough? Here, take this. Bam! And that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. But no one has the balls so far to do it. But this stuff about blaming everybody, the color of my skin, no, you are just an angry man. You are a great player at times, okay? You're going to be a Hall of Famer more than likely too. But come on, man. 5 technical fouls already? You're going to be one away? You can't. They can't afford not to have him on the floor, especially with Steph Curry not there. So come on, Draymond, stop it. But he's never going to change, Angel. He is never, ever, ever going to change.
Yeah, it's going to remain the same. His career's over. It's always going to remain the same.
Steve Kerr talked about Draymond Green.
Following up on that Draymond moment, why would you describe sort of what you saw happen, and it looked like you took him out because you could see he was getting heated?
Yeah, I could see, he had gotten pretty upset, and I just didn't want him to get another technical, so I took him out at that point, and I know he's going to have to be careful now. He's is he 2 techs away?
5 techs and 2 flagrants, and so 7 and 4.
So
two
more techs, he'll be suspended.
Or 2 more flagrants, right?
Yeah. So he's going to have to stay composed. Obviously, we need him, and I'm confident that he will because he knows the circumstances.
Were you frustrated or disappointed, given how poised he's been the last couple games? How much he seemed to lose it a little bit tonight.
It's part of Draymond. The same thing that makes him such a competitor and a winner puts him over the top sometimes. And we know that. And it's our job to try to help him stay poised, stay composed. But the competition is so meaningful to him that. Occasionally he goes over the line.
Yeah, occasionally, like I said, they need him in the lineup. They absolutely cannot afford not to have him playing big minutes. If we could scroll down, Angel, first video of the day, NBA on TNT. Shaq thinks Draymond was sending a message with his technical foul. Interesting take by Shaq here, and then we'll get back to Anthony Edwards.
Right. Get this ready and
under McAfee's thing, yeah, okay.
Yep. Had to bring up the other part first. Yep. Oh, here we go.
Draymond Green has got 5, and Draymond Green also, Shaq, has got another technical foul. He's getting in that danger zone for being suspended. What'd you make of what you saw from that play with Draymond tonight?
Questionable. Back in our day when a guy was that close to you, you make contact with him. But, they probably call it, the little flailing. Draymond has that reputation. So even if he wasn't doing it on purpose, it may look like he was doing it on purpose. But that was something like we used to do back in our day. You want to get close, I'm going to try to draw the foul. And as I'm drawing the foul, I'm touching you up. So from that angle, it looks like, he's sending them a message that, hey, get up off me.
But that's 5 technicals, and Steph trying to calm him down. If you get 7, you get a suspension.
He didn't calm down.
Yeah.
He had to take him out the game.
I know, exactly.
That was the thing probably more disturbing because, number one, that was a flagrant because you can't hit anytime you make head contact. But the thing that bothered me the most, Steph had, we already short-handed, and you still arguing. They've called it flagrant. They've called it technical. Let it go.
Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. So the only message you're sending is that the refs are going to be all over you again. They're going to be watching out for it, and your reputation precedes you. So it's just you got to stop. The Anthony Edwards thing is really good. Anthony Edwards leaving returns for the second half. Here's how it sounded on TNT.
Warriors, Brian Anderson, Stan Van Gundy. Big story right now. Obviously, Curry's out for a while, but Anthony Edwards with that sprained ankle, his left ankle, we saw him come out, Stan, during the halftime break at about the 6-minute mark. He was working through this injury. Trace Jackson Davis came down on top of that left ankle. At the time, it was questionable that he would return, but he looks like he's going to give it a go here, Coach.
Yeah, which is good news. And Timberwolves fans were very excited when he came out of the locker room.
Went through all of the exercises, tested that ankle, and is a thumbs up, Lauren Jabara, and he's on the floor to start this third quarter.
He is a thumbs up. PR just telling me he is available to return, and we see that from him starting. But after he was helped off the court, coming out this second half, guys, he was testing out his ankle quite a bit, and then ending up coming out, sprinting, feeling good. But remember, this is the same.
Yeah, and I have another theory about that as well, and it goes back to Paul Pierce back in the day with the Celtics and the wheelchair and all that stuff. Here's Charles Barkley on Anthony Edwards' injury last night.
Yeah. It could have just happened. No, that's not true. Hit that man in the face. But it just happens to him a lot.
Yeah. And not only that, then you had Anthony Edwards. As Trace Jackson Davis lands on his ankle, this is an issue if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, obviously. This
is Paul Pierce-like right here.
But it's not the
only thing he was missing was the wheelchair.
Not the first time this postseason that left ankle has taken a shot. That one with LeBron James.
What, this dude looked like he'd be dying out there. He'd get back up like that's wrong.
It comes out.
Look at there. Come on, man.
Listed as questionable for the rest of the game.
Come on, man.
In the second half.
Come on, oh my goodness.
I mean, there's the pee or poop theory out there as well, which is the same thing with Paul Pierce with the wheelchair thing. And the Celtics just ended that. They just the last episode last week about the Celtics, that great documentary that Bill Simmons produced on Max, was great. And they, that part of it, they had that part of it back in the day in the playoffs where Pierce had to leave on the wheelchair and blah blah blah. And the big speculation was, and it's still a rumor, not a rumor, but I think. I've heard people that I trust confirm it to me that it was a bathroom thing. He had to go poopy, and that's why he left in the wheelchair, because he soiled himself somewhere along the way. Not that he wasn't, hurt a little bit. And I think the same thing with Anthony Edwards. And I'm not saying he had to go poopy, but the theory is he had to go pee-pee. He had to go to the bathroom, and a lot of it. I mean, to come back out and do what he did in the third quarter, he wasn't hurt. I don't care what it looked like. Oh, he's testing the ankle out and everything else. The theory going around today, or the side story, is he had to go pee-pee. And that's the reason why he went back. That's in the locker room to begin with. So I don't know. But anyway, he was awesome last night. The Timberwolves did. They look great, and they should win that game by the way they did. And not only that, they accomplished another goal by getting Draymond Green to make a jackass out of himself yet again, and put him. The spotlight will be on him once they get back to San Francisco again by the officials. Now after the game, Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker talked about Anthony Edwards playing through the injury.
Like you never really know.
Yeah,
you never really know.
Superman for real.
Yeah. Just because you never know which one is like really bad, especially when you don't get to see them.
Thanks.
But he always finds a way. Like one thing about he's not gonna sit out. Like he's got to be damn near dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen him before. Like, yeah, he got to have his leg chopped off or something. My fault.
Here's more Julius Randle on Anthony Edwards' injury.
Oh, no, he's like Iron Man. I've seen him get hit, knocked down so many times. Better off, he like Wolverine. Like, he gets hurt, and he do something in the back. I don't know what the hell he do, but he do something in the back. He come out, he balls. That's what he does.
All right. I'm offended by that. Either Iron Man or you Wolverine. You can't be both. All right. You can't be both. Make up your mind. If you're going to geek out on me, make up your mind. Meanwhile, Julius Randle on Chris Finch after the Game 1 loss.
Yeah, he cussed us out pretty well. Yeah, he was unhappy, and he let us know he was unhappy, and we felt that. But we were pretty motivated as a team, and the thing I like about Finch is personally for myself, he can coach me hard, and I might not like it in the moment or whatever it is, but I love that he can challenge me like that. The other day we were in the film room, he challenged me multiple times on things that he saw from an effort standpoint. So I want to make a point to come out and prove and play with a high amount of energy, high amount of effort, and respond to that challenge, and not really necessarily take it personal.
All right, so they didn't. I mean, can you imagine players getting chewed out by a coach in this day and age and not going home to cry to mommy? So yeah, that's what good players accept good coaching. We'll have Chuck talk about that too a little bit. Angel, before we not go to break, but I wanted to scroll down a little bit because there's a lot of funny video today, a lot of good video, funny and informative, and I always like to mix in some stuff. If we scroll down, Angel, it's a little ways. It's right before my Superman repost, which we'll get to that a little bit later on. It's on our awful announcer, Charles Barkley, talking, I don't want to be no fraternity. If you look at Shaq's shirt here from last night, his sweater, it is from Alabama State, which he will explain why he has that on. So here's Charles Barkley. I don't want to be in no fraternity. This is quite the exchange.
It begs the question.
From now on, I would like to be addressed as Professor O'Neill, because when I graduate in 2 years, I will leave you and become a college professor on mentorship and business administration. Love you.
I don't doubt it. Alabama State?
Alabama State. Shout out to Gamma Sig.
I don't think you have to do the tongue thing.
No, he's a Q.
Yeah, I know.
You wouldn't know nothing about that.
No, I don't want to.
I'm not going to say.
I don't want to be in no fraternity.
I'm not going.
A bunch of damn loser dudes getting together all the time.
Oh my gosh, no, they do much more. They do great work in the community.
They don't do anything. Just knock it off.
They do.
No, they don't.
I do. I'm not a member, but I did.
If that good, you join.
No, I didn't have time, brother.
No, you were busy. Yeah, only losers join fraternities.
You know who else is in the fraternity?
I don't care who else it is.
The greatest player to ever play the game. Yeah, you know the name.
Who is that?
Michael Jordan.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael ain't wasting his time with no fraternity.
My ears, what are you talking about? He's a Q.
Yeah, he might be, but he ain't doing nothing with them bums.
Now they bums. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Stop it, man.
Just because you could get in a fraternity. You have to have a grade point average to get in.
I did.
That's why you couldn't get
20 points and 10 rebounds.
That couldn't get you in. That couldn't get you in. I'm sorry.
That'll get you anywhere.
No, have I mentioned?
Don't be mad.
That is the line of the year. My grade point average. I averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds at Auburn. That's my grade point average.
That is good.
Absolutely too funny. As long as we're on Chuck here now, on the serious side, let's scroll up one more, Angel. And he talks about today's players being wussies.
Yeah.
Be right above that. Yeah.
100% correct.
Yep. Many of them. Not all of them. Many of them.
I'm trying to read your body language here.
I can't even believe you asked that question, to be honest with you. Like, Ernie, this man is coaching his team. The notion that today's players are such wussies that they can't get criticized is so crazy to me. first of all, every bad player and every great player should want to get coached. And it's not criticism, it's coaching. And it's so frustrating when people are like, man, I can't believe he called out this guy. I'm like, that's his job.
What question can you not believe that
that
you had to ask the question.
Yeah, and I'm not taking that at you. I'm talking about like, yo, man, he played awful.
Yeah.
And first of all, he invited the smoke. We want the Warriors. We can say whenever it was. He is one of the best players in the league. He can't score one point in a home opener of a series without Steph Curry. And he said he's the leader. People going to follow him. That's the bad thing about being a man. They're going to follow you good or bad. And what he was trying to say was, when Anthony was struggling, his energy was down.
The light went out, as he said.
And the rest of the team followed.
Yeah.
Because they were down 10 before Steph got hurt. But the notion, I get so frustrated, like, no, man, coach your team. Get on everybody's ass. That's part of coaching. Don't worry about hurting. That's the thing I love about Greg Popovich. Tim Duncan and Ginobili and Parker, and David Robinson say, he yelled at all of us.
Yeah.
Because what that does is, as a coach, it keeps your credibility. Because if you ain't going to yell at me and Shaq, you can't yell at Kenny. You can't do that. You can't yell at the guys. You say, well, Anthony can get away with anything. You ain't going to never win like that if you let your best player get away with stuff.
No Steph Curry.
Yep.
No, there's no question about it. Dead on balls, accurate as usual. All right, before we go to break, one more quick video, and then we're going to do an MLB rundown and the Stanley Cup playoff stuff as well. But the Celtics are off tonight, and they need to get their shit together before they head to what arguably is going to be one of the biggest games, at least over the last 25 years, for the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And I think most people would agree, despite the fact that they went to the finals, this game tomorrow afternoon, still can't believe they're playing in the afternoon, is going to be unbelievable atmosphere there. And I don't know what to expect from the Celtics. They get the best road record. I don't think the crowd is going to be intimidating to them. Got to see Jason Tatum has got to step it up, and Jaylen Brown. Both of those guys have got to step it up here. And I believe they will. I think there are so many people counting them out. I don't hear anybody counting out the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're also down 0-2. I don't hear anybody saying that, but everybody's counting out the Celtics. I am not ready to go there yet. Now, if they let the atmosphere and everything else get to them and they look like caca, obviously, and they just absolutely lose it mentally on the floor in that atmosphere, then all bets are off, because then they'll be down 3-0, and they're not going to win that series. And I'll be eating a whole bunch of crow burgers. There's no question about it. But I'm not ready to go there yet. I still think we'll find out if they have a heart of the champion. We will find out in what will be the most hostile atmosphere of the season by far for any team. And I think they still have the talent to prevail. Well, we shall see. But I do want to play something before we go to break. And it is from Windhorse yesterday, Brian Windhorse on First Take, about the possibility, which I've been talking about this for the entire season, a possibility that the team's not going to come back, meaning this Celtics team as a whole unit.
This is from
it's right under the show at First Take. It's on First Take. It's right under the show, about 4 down, right under
First Take.
Yep. There's a possibility the team's not going to come back yet.
This thing started talking before I wanted to talk. Here we go.
What's on the line is what's going to happen to this team after this year. Now, this is a conversation I did not think I was going to be having on May 7th or whatever today is, May 8th. I don't even know what it is. I thought this was going to be a conversation for July. But next year, their payroll is $460 million when you compute the taxes. If they keep their draft pick, but they got a first-round pick this year, and they fill out their roster, I don't even know if they're going to be able to bring Al Horford back, it's going to top $500 million. They got new owners. They're buying it for $6 billion. They need to take on all these partners just to put half the money together. I don't know what's going to happen there, but there's a possibility this team's not going to come back. No matter what, they may not be able to come back because they're the most expensive sports team in the history of the game. That's what's on the line. This team has proven it can be it's a championship team. This team has proven it's a 60-win team this year. This team might win the championship again this year. But if they don't get out of this series, I don't know how you can justify spending $500 million on the roster again. I'll tell you that. And so, to me, what's on the line is whether these guys want to stay together and try to rack up a bunch more rings.
Well, look, they could go. Winnie makes a lot of good points there. The bottom line is this: it's a business. They could go 16-0 in the postseason. The same question is going to come up. Now, my gut feeling is that even if they win the title again, I think probably KP and Drew Holiday are not going to be on this team next year. Everybody else, and possibly, as he said, Al Horford, that's possible. Al's already said he wants to play another year. There's no question it's going to look different. I know the new owners and their group have said, things change, blah, blah. It's got something is going to get. It doesn't matter if they win the championship. Even if they did win the championship, they could go undefeated and shut out everybody the rest of the way. The same question is going to be there because it's going to be a $500 million team. And it's not going to be, there's no way. It's a business. This organization, the new owners are going to want to make a little bit of profit. It's going to be very difficult if the team remains completely intact. It will not remain completely intact. There's no question about it. My gut feeling initially, KP and Drew Holiday will be the ones to go. And not the only ones. It's going to change, championship or not. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. Right now, quick break. Here on the Pete Sheppard Show. When we come back, more shenanigans from the TNT crew last night. They actually got into tennis, believe it or not, and some other shenanigans. I might need your help, Angel, again for Rafi Devers. He brought up yesterday, the Red Sox won 5-0. Great comeback win by your Phillies yesterday as well, especially being down 5-1, I think, in the ninth. And we'll get to that, some of the highlights, but I may need your skills for translating what Rafi Devers says once again to make sure it is dead on balls accurate. All part of the Pete Sheppard about playing first base or not playing first base. All part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woo-hoo. Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
He controlled the face-off. Strome controls the puck. And that's blocked by Martin. They didn't get it out. Carlson across for Ovechkin. Bickers, the defenseman's at the net mouth. Carlson scores! John Carlson! A power play goal! And a 2-0 Washington lead! As Wilson slides it through Chatfield, and John Carlson, the longest-serving Capital, comes in on the back door. The power play goal.
Oh, yeah, great Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro with the call last night on ESPN. What a night. Tom Wilson, monster game. Couple of block shots and assist on the winning goal, and the empty netter that sealed the 3-1 victory last night for the Capitals. They even up their series against the Hurricanes 1-1 now after winning 3-1 last night. Welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. I had to hustle back in, just went out. Let's put the garbage and the recyclables out.
Yeah.
Multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. Here's two quick things. One, remind me about a convertible. But the other thing is, I've had people ask, the one that you just brought back, the sounder, whereas, the guy screaming in the background, I've been asked many a times, is that Pete screaming in the background? Yes, when Pete goes ballistic on one of the Boston Red Sox game or maybe a Patriots game, yes, that's what Pete sounds like when he goes crazy. So we put it into a sounder. That's number one. Number two.
Wait a second. I still don't know what that guy, what part of screaming coming back in. I don't understand.
When he says, oh, yeah. You didn't play your sounder again. The one you just played coming back from the.
Oh, don't spaz out, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Oh, that is not me in the background. That is our guy, our imaging guy who put that together. No, but I'm much worse than that. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing.
Here's the other thing though. If you have, let's just say you pulled up, I don't know, let's just say at Wawa, and you have a convertible, and the convertible is down. When you're walking away from the car, mind you, the key word is the convertible portion of it is down the top. Would you hit the alarm on the car?
No. Well, I mean, would you hit the alarm on the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if somebody messes, it could scare somebody away, just the sound. What are you saying? You don't need the alarm because somebody can just jump in anyway?
But pretty much, because if you left something out in the open, so let's just say if you left your cell phone or whatever, whatever, it could be a buck, up on your visor.
Yeah.
The alarm's not going to do jack shit for you. And then one thing that made me laugh yesterday, Debbie and I were out, and this guy pulls up in this convertible. Nice convertible, don't get me wrong. I'm not mocking the guy for having a convertible. I just thought it was funny. Like, he looks back, and we're sitting outside, and he looks back at the car, hits the alarm. Now, he doesn't look at me like, I just did it for you. He just kind of looked at me like, I don't know, I just did it to kind of lock my car. So the guy who's parked next to him gets out of his car and does one of these numbers, like leans all the way into the car and is looking at him like, and that's what's that supposed to do, bro? So the guy looks back as he's getting ready to enter the Wawa doors, like, what are you doing? So he hits the alarm again. The guy does one of these numbers again. And now they're going back and forth. Like, the alarm's not doing anything for you. If I wanted to grab something, the alarm's not doing jack for you. So the guy walks in, goes over by the coffee bar. And mind you, the other guy in the other car isn't doing anything. But I just thought it was funny that you have a convertible. You're hitting the alarm on a convertible. So whatever you have out in the open, the alarm's not doing jack shit for you.
I agree with you 100% about that. I think the only reason why you put the alarm on a convertible with the top down is to prevent somebody from hot wiring the thing.
Right.
Because if somebody gets in and starts filling even with the door handle, sometimes it's somebody. But if you jump in and you start filling around, the alarm will go off. So but I agree with you. If you're dumb enough to leave anything exposed out, because people will steal anything. You could have used gum sitting there in the coffee cup holder, and somebody will take it. But I think it's just. I think people just do it. First of all, it's instinctive. Then second of all, it's because God forbid somebody wants to just jump. Is capable of hot wiring the thing. That maybe would prevent them, but interesting nevertheless.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little MLB rundown here. Jerry Thornton, Barstool Sports, will join me at the top of the hour. We have a lot to discuss. We're going to get in depth into why there is a new Superman movie coming out, and some interesting characters who were in it, who are only in the comic books and never in any other movies. Yet somehow Crypto, the dog, made it.
Really?
Planet Earth. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's in the trailer. We'll play the trailer too. I get the trailer. Have you seen the trailer for the new movie?
No, I was waiting for you.
It's not Henry Cavill in it. I mean, I know they're trying to make a new Super Friends movie too, with that cast and Gal Gadot and what's his name, Aquaman from Game of Thrones and all that stuff. But we'll get to that. Let's do a little baseball. Red Sox, and this is where I need your help. Red Sox beat Texas yesterday by a score of 5-0. Rafi Devers. Well, let me do this in order. Let's go Rafi Devers in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Red Sox up 4-0. He'll tag that one to left field. That one's headed back toward the wall. Sailing down. Home run, Rafi Devers, number 6. 5-0 Boston. Rafi going oppo. So the legs and the power. 5 tools, Obi.
Dave O'Brien and Lou Merloni on this in Red Sox in Kansas City today. But there's more to this. Let's go to the top of the 9th inning. The other Rafaela, Ceddanne Rafaela. What a great catch.
And a 3-2 from the righty. And a fly ball right center, pretty well hit. Rafaela racing back to the triangle. And up against the wall. They made the play. Oh, he paid for it. He took a shot, but to the deepest part of Fenway, out into the Bermuda Triangle, and makes a whale of a catch.
You see him kind of slow down because he had his eye on it. Just at that point, your eye's on the ball. You don't know where the wall is.
It's
Really nice day from Sedan.
All right. Now, after the game, Rafi Devers was asked about playing first base for the Red Sox. So this is from NBC Sports Boston Angel, and I might pause it here because I'm just going to play the audio, and then you tell me what he's saying, and then because he released a statement, then we're going to get the reaction from the MLB Network guys as well. Here's Rafi Devers on being asked by the Red Sox to play first base.
We had the conversation with you happen after the victory, I'm assuming?
Sí, después que pasó lo que pasó con Casa, vinieron de mí y yo sé que soy un pelotero, pero tampoco puedo jugar todas las posiciones, no me puedo adaptar como cualquier otro pelotero a una posición. Si de jugar primera saben que no va a jugar de una vez, pero no es muy buena la decisión. Vinieron hacia mí, fue ahora, no sé por qué. Ellos mismos me quitaron de una posición, me dijeron que, vamos a decir, que boté mi guante, que no iba a jugar más posición y es algo como sin sentido que me pida que vuelva a jugar una posición. Yeah.
Okay. Now, before the translator comes on, what was your interpretation of that?
Okay. He's still a little bitter about being taken away from his position and then being asked to go back and play said position after the injury to the ball player. As he mentioned, he is a ball player and he will do what he is asked to do, but he still finds it ironic and kind of angry-ish that they're asking him to go play a position that they told him to hang up his glove. You're not playing that position anymore. And that's where he stood on that.
Okay, here's more.
You know, it was after the Casas, what happened to Casas happened.
Sox
They
interpreter
came to me and talked to me about it. And I, ¿cómo fue? Después que te hablaron. Que no es buena decisión que ellos vengan hacia mí ahora porque no se ve bien después que me dijeron que no iba a cubrir mi posición en pin trainer y ahora me vuelven a decir que. Yeah, you know, I know I'm a ball player, but at the same time, they can't expect me to play, you know, every single position out there. In spring training, they, you know, talked to me and basically, you know, told me to put away my glove, that I wasn't going to play any other position but DH. So right now I just feel like it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask me to play another position.
Basically, Andrew, you summed it up very succinctly, same type of thing. Now, here is, if we could scroll down, and thank you for your help once again. Scroll, it's right onto the show, it's the first one. Greg Harold and Dan Plesac on MLB Network discuss Rafael Devers' comments regarding his willingness to play first base, which is exactly what Angel just told you he said. But let's hear these guys.
All along, this is from Rafi Devers, quote, I know I'm a ball player, but at the same time, they can't expect me to play every single position out there. In spring training, they talked to me, basically told me to put away my glove, that I wasn't going to play any other position but DH. So right now, I just feel like it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask me to play another position. It was the GM that I spoke with. I'm not sure what he has with me. He played ball. I would like to think he knows that changing positions like that isn't easy. Now, this is from Gabrielle Starr. This is a quote she took from Rafi Devers. Quote, they put me in this situation. They told me that they didn't want to allow me to play any other position. And now I think they should just do their jobs, essentially. Hit the market, look for another player. Wow. I mean, wow.
Wow. They got some problems.
Can I just say, you know, when you miscue two fly balls in left field, what do they always say? The ball will find you.
Yeah.
The ball has found the Boston Red Sox. Of all the players to get injured after Rafi Devers loses his spot at third base, the one that you couldn't afford to lose because it would bring back this whole, is Rafi Devers going to play defense again, is Tristan Casas. Yeah. And it's not like he's on the 15-day IL. He's gone for the year.
Might be the best time to start a road trip, and the Red Sox, just as the last game of the homestand, couldn't have picked a better time for their team to go on the road, because this thing would have been nuts on a Friday at Fenway.
All right, so are we cool with what Rafi Devers just said?
I have no problem with it. Look, it's been a saga now, and he gets asked about it every day. But this, I think, knowing Rafi and knowing the other men involved here, is a sit-down conversation. It's a sit-down. Rafi's sitting there going, hold it, timeout. You told me I was going to play third base, and you go get a third baseman. Then you tell me put my glove away, and now you're telling me pick it up and go play somewhere and learn first base.
But an injury took place to one of his teammates.
I get it. He's got feelings. He did this same thing earlier when everybody was saying he should go be a DH. He didn't want to, but he did it. He conformed. I think it's a conversation.
Yeah, but if Costas was hurt in spring training like that, they probably would have asked him to go to first.
But they
Come on, Harold.
sit down and rectify it.
So you think he will eventually be the first baseman?
I think he will. You can't sit there and take his glove away and say, never mind. You're not going to do it. And that means that was some hard conversations. To tell a guy who's a $300 million player and been an all-star and he only committed 12, 14 errors after he's worked his tail off down from 100 to
and
say,
he's got the last contract basically of his career with you. So he's decided to stay loyal to the organization.
Throw your glove away. Don't worry about it. You know how hard that was for him?
Oh, he struggled mightily.
You know how hard that was for him?
And then he's finally figured it out.
You know how much pride you take in your defense when everybody's saying you can't defend? When that is the only knock you have? That's out early. That's working your tail off every second. He knows what it took to get to this position. He knows what it's going to take to be respectable at first base.
All right. Look, you know my feelings about it. Bottom line is whatever is best to help the team. Now, if Costas had gotten hurt in spring training or very early on, they would have asked him. I believe they would. The best thing they can do for the team is to put him at first base and bring up Roman Anthony and put him at DH. That's what they should do.
I would have.
And Harold finally said at the end, he says he believes that Rafi Devers will end up being the first baseman. I just don't understand, like, this whole thing. A lot of ball players like playing in the field as well as hitting. To be a full-time DH, and David Ortiz mastered it, but, you know, he was a first baseman, too, for a little bit from time to time as well. But Rafi Devers, I'm sorry, what is best for the team? You're a $300 million player. Go play first base. It just infuriates me when these athletes are coddled like this. You're a fucking DH. Yeah, I know what goes into it. I know the hard work you put in. Go play first base. God, that's what's best for the team. Go ahead, Angel.
Yeah, I would love to have heard more of the conversation because they added a couple of things in there. That, in my opinion, that really wasn't said by Devers. So I would have loved to know to hear more what went on with that conversation because, again, you're getting paid regardless of what your position is in baseball. Everybody knows this. You know this when you play Pee Wee baseball all the way through Little League, and if you're getting to the minors and the majors, you're asked to play a position and you adjust and you conform to it. You have Bryce Harper from the Phillies has played right field his entire career, then made the switch over to first because they were trying to minimize his injuries. Yep. That's made a great adjustment being at first base. So
how about A-Rod? A-Rod, when you get to the Yankees and Jeter and all that stuff, A-Rod said, yeah, I'll play third base. That's what he was a better shortstop than Jeter, especially at that time. But, instead of moving him over to third, Jeter over to third, they didn't want to insult him. So A-Rod took a bullet, whether you love him or not, he decided to do what's best for the team and do that. Back in the day with my Red Sox, Rico Petrocelli, my good friend, one of my first heroes, was a great shortstop for the Red Sox for many years until Rick Burleson came along. And then they moved Rico over to third base. There was no bitching and moaning about it. It happens. This stuff happens. You do what is best for the team.
Yep. That's what you're supposed to do. That's all. You're a ball player. I mean, if you're an actual team player, you hang around no matter what, through thick and thin. It's period. If you're that good, then you say, you know what? Okay, that team wants me over here. I'll go play over there. Now, is it different when they're asking you to go to second and short? You're coming from third, short into third. I mean, you're almost utilizing the same. If you're going over to second, cold, sometimes, some guys don't perform well. But you're going to first, which is basically polar opposite of where you are at third. So the only thing you have to be mindful about is obviously ground balls heading to the pitcher and what's coming across from the other side.
And be the cutoff man, on throw to the plate at a lot of times. So, I mean, it's harder than people think. I always go back to Moneyball when they're recruiting Hattie. He's like, and Billy Bean says, Hattie, tell him it's not that hard to play first base. And Claudel Watson goes, it's incredibly hard. So it's a lot harder than people. People stick him at first base and there's nothing to it. No, but it's a lot less pressure. And again, it's what's best for the team.
Correct.
All right, a couple more videos I want to play, some shenanigans. Let's go there right under the baseball. What the one you just played? Run underneath that. Yeah, the Shackton a fool. Kenny blowing a 3-1 lead in the board race with Chuck on the new Shackton. These are like some of the great highlights of. Well, you'll get the idea. You'll get the idea.
Nice
when you see this. It's hysterical.
To a new edition of Shackton a fool.
Oh, no edition of Shackton. Yeah, there you go, big fella.
He's Shackton a fool.
What?
He's Shackton a fool.
Say what?
He's Shackton a fool.
What?
He can read the hell out of that prompter.
Unlike Chuck. Number 4, James Harden.
No, not James.
Clippers fans showed up in full force, but forgot about one thing, Chuck. Game 7 Harden.
Oh, no.
Are you serious?
No, I can't agree with you on this. James, this is not, I'm not participating in this,
James, I'm not with it.
I'm not participating, James.
Me and Kenny got nothing to do with this.
Not your fault, James.
Oh, both of you guys are laying out.
Yeah, no, that James. Oh, wow.
Come on, man. Stop it, man. I know I'm not on that plane, James.
Hey,
I was not on that plane, James. No, stop
Kenny
it.
Smith.
Me?
Kenny's really so bad you thought he played for the Celtics.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
get back in the lab, Kenny.
It was the shoes.
Close on him, Carl Lewis. Close on him, Carl Lewis.
No, that's a tie.
No, that's not. Hey, Carl Lewis.
I wasn't beaten. I gave up.
Listen here, Kenny. Come on, man.
Oh, God. Number 2, Buddy Hill. Ended up the hero after the early game short swap.
Yeah.
How did you show up with the wrong shorts?
He blamed Jimmy Butler for it. He was supposed to be wearing the ones with the gold trim, not the blue.
I saved the day. Except for that stupid thing you did at the beginning of the game when you didn't have on the right shorts.
The referees recognized that? No, they called it delay of game on him. Number 1, Chet Holmgren.
Not Chet.
Not Chet.
No, not Chet.
Forgot to bring the thunder on this dunk attempt.
That was a goaltender, wasn't it?
No goaltender.
Let me see it again.
He missed.
No, that was not a goaltender.
Well,
it wasn't offensive. It was a basket
I think when he pulled
because
the
he
rim
snapped the
down.
rim back. Yeah.
That's funny right there.
Oh, and again, the beard playing.
James, me and Kitty had nothing to do with this.
I had nothing to do with that, James.
That was good.
And finally, before we go to break, and then Jerry Thornton's going to join us, if we could scroll down, Paul Pierce had either 15 or 20 miles. He said if the Celtics lost game 2, he'd walk to work.
Right.
And he did. He did it. And if we could scroll down, Angel, let me see where the hell is it. I got a couple of them, but I've only got time to play really
Is that
one.
Shares the Emotion?
No, it's down. Okay, go down to Barstool Sports. It says Paul Pierce made it. He came into the studio in a wheelchair, and the truth.
Jeez.
Here he is. The legs are shot. This he genuinely needs it. Wheelchair this time. We're gonna welcome back in studio in style.
I made it, y'all. Oh my
True Paul
God.
Pierce fashion. He's gonna pop right out of this wheelchair and
Yep, and that's
make
right.
it happen.
It was another show. There you go. There you go.
Let's give it up for Paul Pierce, a man of his word. A man of his word.
Oh man, I'm exhausted.
Now, we don't have time to play. I don't have time to go searching for these videos. I thought I had retweeted it, but one part of the journey, I think about 4 or 5 miles in, and it was not set up. Guess who drives by and starts heckling him? KG, Kevin Garnett, just drives by, just happens to be driving by and stops, starts making fun of him on his walking route to the studio. And it wasn't planned. It's very funny somewhere. All right, Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Massachusetts is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. Head on down there to Sports World, 184 Broadway in Saugus, Massachusetts. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. 781-233-7222 for more information. They have incredible stuff there. Sports World in Saugus. August. Be there. Jerry Thornton, Barstool Sports, coming up next here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Sheppard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
Welcome back. Pete Sheppard Show on a Friday. If it's Superman, no, it's not Jason Tatum in that god-awfully timed commercial that's been running lately. My Superman, my dear friend Jerry Thornton from Barstool Sports, joining me this morning. Hello, Monsieur Jerry.
Oh, hey, just so we know that I'm doing the extended Superman-like flying pose, not anything that got Elon Musk in trouble for. Okay, so be very clear. That was a closed fist. Yeah, but geez, you forget John Williams has been so prolific and has such a body of work that you almost forget, like, Superman. That's an amazing theme. I'm not sure it actually cracks his top 10 of best movie scores.
Have you seen the documentary about him? It was either on Netflix or one of the. Have you seen the whole documentary that came out this past year about him?
No,
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I absolutely have to for a couple of reasons. One, my theory has always been there's nobody in life who has dominated their field of endeavor more than he has. You know what I mean? Like Gretzky has Ovechkin or whatever. You can argue LeBron versus MJ. It's been done to death.
Yeah,
I mean, we can have a healthy conversation about who's the second greatest movie composer of all time, but he just retired the trophy on being the number one, to the point where tonight I'm going to the Boston Pops to watch Jaws. Jaws.
And the Pops is going to do it live, right? Is that what they do?
Yeah, they showed the movie and the Pops is there. Last year, we went right around the same time of year. The Irish Rose and I went and saw Jurassic Park in the same setting. The year before that was Return of the Jedi. What do those three films all have in common? John Williams. It's the only thing they have in common.
And all the Indiana Jones movies as well. That's awesome. So yeah, you're going to see, he goes into in-depth detail, John Williams does in this documentary, about how he came up with dun dun, dun dun. It was kind of like by accident. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's really funny how
I do know that
those two notes, you talk about Name That Tune back in the day when Kathy Lee Gifford used to la 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 la, and that's what she'd do, and name that tune. But if you ever hear bum bump, bum bump, if you just hear to two notes, you know immediately what it is. Immediately.
Right, exactly. Everyone that has like a pet at some point has seen the pet like going after, like trying to sneak up on him, and you just and nobody goes, what is that noise you're making? Except Spielberg when you first heard it. He was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, no, seriously, what have you come up with for the film? And you realize if you take that out of the movie and put in anything else, it's just not the same film.
No, not at all. And they do that too. It's funny because he talks about that in the documentary. Steven does. It's really fascinating. So quickly, the logistics of it. So the movie comes on. How do they edit live music into the actual movie? Do they pause the movie while the music? How do they do that?
It's almost like, you get like a karaoke app that will remove the lyrics of the vocals, and it's just the background. They've removed the music from the film, so the movie is on the stage behind the orchestra. There are you can hear the people talking, and there's like subtitles if you need that. And then anytime a music section comes on, it's the live orchestra right in front of you. And actually, now that I think of it, last summer went down to Cape Cod, where the Cape Cod Symphony did Empire Strikes Back, which was significant because they admitted beforehand, this is like running a triathlon. And when you look at that movie, it is just nonstop music. There are very few moments in there that aren't accompanied by music. And they have since heard that Lucas said when he made Star Wars, to him, they're silent films. Like you could really just replace the dialogue with just the subtitles. It's the visuals and it's the music, and it's
there's one movie, and I agree, absolutely, you're 100% correct with the music and all that stuff. There's one movie in my life, and I could be wrong. I'm not wrong about what I'm about to say. I'm saying there could be other movies. The Dark Knight Rises is the only movie that I know of that has music from the start to the end. There's always music in the background. Every single scene, right from when Bane hijacks the plane all the way to the end of the movie where what's his name goes up on the platform and then he's going to be the new Robin, that type of thing.
Right.
Every single, it never stops. The whole movie.
That's interesting. That's that Hans Zimmer type of score, right? Where sometimes it's almost like atonal. You're not even sure what it is. And there's a type of musical audio trick that he created, and I forget what the name is, but it sounds like the music is rising,
continuously because it sort of tricks your ear into thinking it's going up, but then it starts back down again. But it's this one continuous thing. So he might be the best currently, although Danny Elfman, formerly of Oingo Boingo, has had a heck of a run.
Oh my God, Oingo Boingo, of course, made an unbelievable dramatic appearance in Back to School.
Back
in the
to
dorm.
school, right? When it was the dead man's party.
Where's the weekend party?
And then was it Howard Shore who did the Lord of the Rings? Because that to me is the greatest.
Peter Jackson. Oh, who did the music? You mean?
Yeah.
I forget.
I want to say it was Howard Shore, whoever it was. He did a leitmotif, which is a musical term for there's a theme for every aspect of the story. And Williams did that. You watch a Star Wars like, oh, that's Leia's theme, and oh, that's Luke's theme. And of course, it's Imperial March or whatever. The Superman one, though, geez, what a banger! Like, I'm all about defending our national anthem to the death. But boy, if we ever needed like a second one, the Superman theme, at its best, Superman is about America, truth, justice, in the American way.
And I think about the original one with the late great Christopher Reeves when that came out, and how back then in 1979 when it came out, it was such a huge. I remember the lines, as Cartman would say, all around the block and everything else. And I lived in Narragansett, Rhode Island. I lived across from a movie theater. The lines were just like ridiculous, unbelievable. I remember going in. I was 12 at the time. My sister Andrea was 11, and we went to my parents, and my parents were just amazed at the technology and at that time and everything else. And it was well done for its time and held up. The second one I thought was better, but I remember
the second one was fantastic.
Wow, you were like blown away. The only Superman I had ever seen up until then was on Super Friends on Saturday morning.
See, mine was reruns of the 1950s TV show where they said, "What if Superman was a fat guy? What if he was like a tubby suburban dad? At any given point, Superman could have been out like pushing a lawnmower and smoking a cigar or something. But they made it work.
I forget. Remember the movie about George Reeves, who ended up being Superman back in the black and white shows back then? And that's a great movie. Ben Affleck plays him. He did a really good job. I think he got nominated for an Oscar in that one. It's a really, really underrated movie because his death is like, I'm not going to compare it to the Kennedy assassination, but I guess I am. It's a huge mystery still to this day in Hollywood about how he died. And I remember the first time when I was a kid, I thought the coolest thing at the time was watching Superman, and it was, back then, what was cheesy to a 7 or 8 year old, in 1975, which I was. I'm like, what is cheesy? That, which I thought was great because it was Superman. I'm like, black and white, and Lois looked like how I thought Lois would look from the comic books, and Jimmy, same thing. But then, half hour later, I Love Lucy comes on. George Reeves, who I didn't know, and I used to watch that show when he was a little kid, didn't know he was going to be a special guest, and all of a sudden he comes flying through the kitchen, into Lucy's living room. I thought that was the coolest thing.
As one used to do in sitcoms back in the day. They wouldn't think anything of it. Yeah, Mork, he lives in it. He flies through space in an egg. All right, he's in the 1950s in Milwaukee. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's occurred to me that when you take these characters that are iconic and transgenerational, right, that have been rebooted every so often, they often hold up like a mirror to the times that you see them in. So the 1950s one, it's sort of conformist, and there's bad guys and good guys and everything's black and white. That one from the late 70s was just fun, right? It was pure fun. It was charming. Like there's little in jokes, like him running to the phone booth, but by the late 70s, the phone booth was just a standing pole with a phone, like that. And then you now you look at the ones that have been made in the 2000s, and what are they? Dark, cynical, grim. Like as someone once said of Zack Snyder, and I like some Zack Snyder films. I do
too. That Star Trek, he does a good job with.
Yeah, I think it's terrific. The 300 is great, but when he has to like reinvent things. As someone once said, his color palette is gray, dark gray, and fire.
Yeah.
And then you contrast it to the Christopher Reeve ones, and it's like this bold colors, and he's got the suit with a yellow belt and the red trunks, and then like they have to say, well, no, you can't have like little trunks outside the suit because that's like an old 30s like strong man thing. Like, really, why can't we? Why can't we? We can have a guy who comes here from another planet who's rocketed to Earth as a baby and has powers because of our small yellow sun. But nope, you can't have the trunks. It has to be this unitard, and there has to be an explanation for the S on his shirt. Like why? It just shows that we kind of live in garbage times. You know what I mean? When art becomes ugly, then you're living in ugly times. The late 60s, the architecture was ugly. The clothes were ridiculous. You know what I mean? It was just cynical, nasty times. I hope we get back to an age where you can have a real Superman who frigging enjoys having superpowers and punching bad guys.
Well, and we'll get that in a second. I have a theory about that. Angel, if you wouldn't mind scrolling down, and it's a little bit of a ways, and you can't miss it because it says Superman. I want to play the trailer, and because I want Jerry and we're going to dissect this afterward. But I want to also talk about Henry Cavill, who I think did a great job. I think I love Man of Steel. A lot of people have. I like the fact that they brought the real Superman to life. I mean, how it was done. I thought it was very, very well done. I even like Batman versus Superman. A lot of people don't like that. I even enjoyed that. That didn't. People got really. And then your Super Friends movie, and of course he dies and then comes back to life because Flash brings it back. All that stuff, and they're supposed to be making another one. But I think Henry Cavill did a great job, and I love the fact how they were going back and forth when he was a kid, trying to accept his powers, trying to learn how to use them, be disciplined. Diane Lane playing his mom, Martha, and all that stuff. But
why did you say Martha? Why did you say Martha?
Yeah, people don't know. Batman's mom was named Martha, as Superman's mom was named, Batman's mom was named Martha, and Superman's mom was named
Martha. Yeah, and
so
because both their names sound like mother. Wow, what a coincidence! But they find this out in this big pivotal moment where Batman is literally trying to kill Superman. Yep. And then finds out their names are Martha.
And he's succeeding.
Exactly. He's got a kryptonite spear. He's about to run him through. He's about to impale him on this thing. And then he pulls back. And the next scene, he's telling his mother that, I'm friends with your son. Like, what?
Yes.
So that motivational 180 was because your mom said. So if his name was Irene, like my mom's, like he's a dead man. Like, what?
I remember one part of the trailer in that one, and Ben Affleck looking up to him, he goes, "Do you bleed?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "You will." But I want to play the trailer. Have you seen the trailer for the new one?
I saw one of the earlier trailers.
Okay,
maybe an updated one.
This is the latest one. I want to just play it. It's 2 minutes left. I want everybody to see this, and then I have several questions, not only for myself, for Jerry, and for the audience. Let's go. Let's run it, Angel. Opens up July 11th. This is the new Superman movie. Right out of the gate, I don't get it, but we'll get to that in a second. lot of questions. Number one, let's start at the very first scene when he falls out of the sky. Now, is that something that happens in the middle of the movie where some kryptonite thing happens, or he's not away from the yellow sun and falls back to Earth? That can't be the beginning of the movie, right? Where he falls to Earth as a grown man, bleeding, by the way, or bleeding after he hits the ground. Let's start with that. What's your theory about that? I got to think that had to be a scene halfway through the movie, right? They can't open with that.
Right. I think this whole trailer can be summed up in 2 words: fan service. Like, they're letting the audience know you're going to get these elements. Ladies, there's going to be some romance. Guys, Lois Lane's kind of hot. You've seen her in other things. She's familiar. You know, the dog. Who doesn't love Crypto? Who doesn't want a dog around? And
How does Crypto get there? How does Crypto? It's never explained. Even when Supergirl came out, not the stupid, silly movie, but the series that was on Netflix at one point. And I watched it for a time. At least they kind of had explained, because Superman is not the only relative that escaped Krypton. There are other Kryptonians that were scattered, I guess, throughout part of the universe. I still don't know the origin of the dog. I don't know how Crypto got there. I really don't. Only in the comic books. Only in the comic books have I ever seen Crypto.
Oh, you know how how movies work now. Hollywood's so out of ideas. If this thing is successful, Crypto's getting his origin story. Like, they're going to have a spin-off Crypto movie. But I like that opening because it tells you, if you see this movie, you're going to see Superman battle a threat so huge that it can knock him to the ground, bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes you go, okay, now what is this threat? And they've got some of the obscure like villains. If you've noticed, every Superman movie always has Lex Luthor, it has Zod, and maybe Doomsday. Like, there's this whole pantheon of evildoers. What was the Legion of Doom, for one? In Super Friends. But we've always seen just the same 3 over and over again, just rehash versions.
And again, too, you saw that there. You saw Doomsday, and was Zod in there too? I thought I saw him. I thought there was a Zod.
Possibly there's that Nathan Fillion character, and I noticed that when they cast these things now, they always try to get someone that the general nerd public is already invested in. Like, Nathan Fillion had his ticket stamped since when Firefly came out, but he's excellent in everything he does. Okay. And then I think it's Hawk Girl. I don't know, but it's a chick who
it is Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl. And I don't know a lot of these like more obscure ones. And I'm happy to see James Gunn dig deeper into the lineup here, go deeper on the bench.
Let's get Apache Chief in there. The guy who goes, "In that chuck," and grows to like 100 feet tall.
Okay, yeah. It was a big old dragon dinosaur thing breathing fire. Let's see what that's all about. He's saving people. Again, there's that element of the public is turned against him, which I guess is always going to be part of the current narrative of him, which never happened back in the day.
Never happened like that. But I want to know again what are they gonna, I hope they're not going to go back and do, Kal-El and the mom, and putting, do we need to see another version of that again? If you want to just start with a rocket going through space heading towards Earth, that's fine. I don't need to revisit all the drama again of why Krypton was going to blow up, why they wouldn't listen to Jor-El and his father and all that stuff. Do we need to see that again? By the way, Marlon Brando got $12 million for that opening scene. He made $1 million a minute, which at the time was a record. And then they had to bleep him out of the second one because he wouldn't do it because he wanted more money, and they said no.
Okay, let me just tell your audience, when you vote for the Sheppard Thornton ticket, we promise you no more Krypton origin stories and no more Thomas and Martha Wayne being killed in an alley. Like, we know it's been done. Yeah. We can just skip ahead to the part and just assume the audience is aware of what happens. Thank you.
I want to know how Crypto got to Earth. I want to know, because it seems like he'd been on that scene, like he's been with Superman forever. So, he wasn't in the capsule with them. There was no dog on. I didn't see anybody on Krypton except for men and women. And the fetuses that were in the Henry Cavill one with, what do you call it? Not the Zortex, what do they call it? the thing that sucked the life out of everything, or embodied the spirit. What do you call it?
Yeah. I'm
not Cortex, but something like. Anyway, you get the idea.
But maybe Crypto got off the leash and was running around chasing rockets. I don't know. We've seen Superman breathe in space before. Maybe Crypto ran on the just rode on the outside. That will be fun to find out. If nothing else, it's a way of like putting a stamp on this movie and say, okay, it's going to be fun. You're going to have little awe moments.
And we know Supergirl,
like the dog, and the dog is just an adorable dog, like absolutely going to be the breakout star of this thing if he gets more than a couple of seconds of screen time. I'm going to go out on a limb and say at some point in the final scene, the climactic moment, Superman's going to be in peril and Crypto is going to save the day.
No, there's no question about it. And we know that Supergirl, I don't know if she's in it. That's Superman's cousin. And again, I forget the backstory of how all these people got out of Krypton. I mean, everybody thinks it's just Superman that got out of Krypton. No, there were family members and obviously dogs that got out, you know?
Yeah. And that, that Supergirl series that you mentioned, that was actually pretty good.
It wasn't bad at
I wish
all.
I could recall the name of the lead actress, but she was an absolute smoke show. She's working as like this, her disguise as she's a bumbling idiot working as like some news outlet or whatever. So it's very
calls her the wrong name, Kiara or whatever. I forget what her name is on the show, but they call her. She was always calling her by the wrong name and always asking her to go get Starbucks coffee every day in California.
Yeah, a real Devil Wears Prada type of character, but sort of the counterpoint to Perry White, like the strong boss who's like always putting you down, and it always reminds me of that great speech that David Carradine gives in Kill Bill Volume 2 about how every superhero has their disguise except Superman. Like Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but Superman becomes Clark Kent. Like he has to come up with this alter ego that is not his. And so that's his commentary on the human race. Like Clark Kent is weak, he's feckless, he's like lame, he's a bumbling idiot around the chicks or whatever. And so that's his commentary, that basically we suck, but he's willing to save us anyway.
I'm hoping the beginning of the movie just starts with whoever's playing the mom and dad, whoever it could be, just put the baby in the rocket takes off, Krypton blows up, they show that, and then the rocket crashes into Kansas. I always thought it was interesting.
I'm happy if it starts the way you said. Like, okay,
and then
he's Superman. A couple of flashbacks to like his parents out on the prairie in Smallville.
Yeah,
I don't need much more than that. But it is funny how these characters we're talking about, like Sherlock Holmes and Dracula, whatever, like that will always be reinvented every so often for every new generation. Right. Like, I don't know how many years there were between the previous vampire movie and Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. But now the turnaround time on that, we reboot them about like 2 years apart.
I remember 1980, the Frank Langella movie of Dracula. And that was pretty good. The one with what's his name, that Academy Award winner, that's also in Batman, the Dark Knight Rise stuff. What's his name? Oldman, right? Oldman.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman. Yeah,
he was great. That movie is fantastic. I mean,
it truly is. It's so
that is the real Dracula movie. Now the remake they just did last year. I think you said you liked the one I watched.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. I laughed through the whole thing.
Really? Did you?
And the end, is the end not the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life? And I couldn't even take it seriously. I just started laughing. I could not take that movie seriously. It was basically Dracula. They just changed the name. And I don't know, added a few other freaky little things. It's just...
the original Nosferatu is
he's having sex with the woman at the end as he's dying. The sun is hitting him. He's dying. He ends up, not only does she die while she's having sex with him. They both die having sex. And at the end, you just see a burnt corpse on top of her. She's dead.
Right.
I laughed.
Which actually was also stolen from an old I Love Lucy episode, as I recall. Yeah. Yeah, that was also a plot. I think it was Fred and Ethel were involved in that. It was a very special episode. No, well, Nosferatu was, of course, one of the early famous black and white silent films.
Yes.
And I mean, even I've seen the same 3-second clip of that my entire life, and
I
it
agree.
freaks me out. It haunts my dreams
Yes.
to this day. I've never seen the rest of it, but it was a way of doing Dracula without having to pay Bram Stoker's estate like money or whatever. So it makes no bones about that. But it's just this guy, the director of that, he also did The Witch, which to me is incredible. And he did The Northman, which if you're interested in like testosterone filled movies, this thing it's the most manly thing of all time. It's loosely based on Hamlet, and it's a revenge movie or whatever. He creates these worlds, and when you're watching it, it's hard to believe that this is like a movie set. You really feel like he sent a camera back in time and saw these things, created this whole, like, these sets and these the costumes that you just totally lose yourself in them. As much as I agree with you that the Bram Stoker's one that Coppola did is amazing, you still get kind of, you fail to suspend the disbelief certain moments, like Keanu Reeves. And I know it's the most un-American thing in the world to criticize Keanu Reeves. Him trying to do a British accent, holy moly, right? It's like a high school production of A Christmas Carol. These kids from Hanover, Mass, are trying to do their best. It's like, and Winona Ryder, same thing, and I'm a fan of hers, but they're just awful at it, which drives me nuts anytime there's somebody doing an American accent and you find out later they're British. Like the daughter on Yellowstone, the redhead, she's British. I just found that out the other day. Okay, now I'm just mad that these people can do American accents, but we find it impossible to do their accent with any sort of accuracy.
Before I get to, I want to ask you about Handmaid's Tale. If you watch that, real quick, do you watch that? Yes or no? Handmaid's Tale.
I do not. I just know that real world is starting to reflect Handmaid's Tale. I know this because crazy suburban wine moms tell me this all the time on the internet. But no,
do you know where Handmaid's Tale takes place?
I did not.
The where they say it is?
Fort Myers?
Quincy/Boston.
You're kidding me, really?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Okay, ladies, we're going to start fitting you for habits. Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
But there are several, to your point, there are several British actors on that show that play Americans, and they pull it off unbelievably. You never know. And then you look at the inside end to the episode, and they have really thick British accents. So it's a credit to them that they pull it off.
Okay, well, all you chicks like in the bars this summer at the Quincy Bay Marina and everything, get ready. Get ready. It starts now. What size habit do you take, sister? Because your days of being an independent woman are over. The patriarchy is taking hold.
Well, the finale's next Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to it. I've seen all 6 seasons, and it took a while for season 6, almost over a year to come out. Quickly about the last Superman movie, the new one coming out. Is it me, or does some of it look animated?
I'd have to look again. I mean, CGI, it's funny.
Yeah.
I rewatched Jurassic Park a while ago because my life was so exciting. And it's so pristine. It's so amazing. And then you watch Jurassic Park 2, and a lot of it looks like the stuff you'd see on like a Discovery Channel special about dinosaurs or whatever. Like, it takes a step back. Some of the stuff that Disney's cranking out between like the Marvel stuff.
Have you seen Daredevil on that? Have you seen Daredevil?
Yes.
Oh my God! Can anything be more violent ever in Disney history than that series? And it's been fantastic.
Sure, and I love that character. It's so well cast, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is spot on perfect. But their CGI has gotten so crappy. It's like, how have we regressed over 30 years? How is it like way inconsistent now when Spielberg and his team came up with like a totally lifelike T-Rex using basically a Commodore 64. They were running Windows 77 on this thing, and it's amazing. And now with supercomputers and AI and everything, it all just looks like there are people on YouTube doing better content than the major studios are now.
talking with Jerry Thorne from Barstool Sports. A few more. You got a few more minutes, right? Because there's 3 more topics I want to get into. The Pope will be the last one. Big East, baby. We got him.
Yeah.
But I wanted speaking of new movies, and the Jurassic Park new trailer, which I've seen 3 times now. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. I want to know who the characters are in it, if they have any relation to the previous thing. Why are we doing this again? Why are we going now? It's the island that was part of the other island. I mean, I'm at a loss. I'm not even sure if I want to see it. I might have to wait for it to come out on video. I don't know. How do you feel? The new Jurassic Park movie where shit goes wrong again for some reason.
See, back in January, I posted a photo of Trump signing all the executive orders, with those folders. And I said, there will be a 10-year moratorium on all Jurassic Park movie sequels, and held it up. And I posted on Facebook of people going, that he's evil, right? That he's like, okay, see, the joke here is
take a joke. It's ridiculous.
There are too many Jurassic Park movies. That's what I'm going for. But he's into tariffs. Yeah. Okay. What is your opinion of dinosaur movies? Okay, I'm going to go way out on a limb on this next one. And it's going to be this. There's dinosaurs that people didn't quite know about. They think it's safe. People are going to get near them. Something's going to happen bad. And they're going to run away screaming and yelling. Like what? Goldblum says that in the second movie. He goes, it all starts. Yeah. And then it's the running and the screaming. And they're still doing it. And I can't imagine anyone still going to these things. The quality doesn't just decline. It goes off a cliff with each successive one. And look, the Chris Pratt one, the reboot, okay, kind of cool. He's velociraptors or whatever, but it should have been a one-off. And, Ron Howard's daughter running away from this 40-foot long super predator in her high heels. What are they doing?
There was a sad part in the spin-off of with the Chris Pratt one. I don't know if it was the first one or the one after that, right? Where the island is burning, right? And that one brontosaurus is just sitting there. They can't get to him. They can't get him off the island. He's just crying as he gets engulfed with flames. It kind of got me. Even though it's fake.
Yeah, believe me. I once heard people arguing about some nuance of a Jurassic Park movie and why this particular thing doesn't make sense. And I had to remind them, it also doesn't make sense. We don't have the way to take DNA and recombine it into dinosaurs, but cool. But I think we're getting there. We just did the dire wolves, right? And they're working on woolly mammoths. And just to prove that they can do woolly mammoths, they did woolly mice. And everyone who was objecting to this, who was furious, you're playing God with nature. This is wrong. This is gonna go have consequences down the road. They saw the woolly mice and just said, "Oh, can I have some? Can you seriously?" They had to keep the secret location of this place, under wraps. Because they're getting flooded with people that they think are going to show up and want to grab a dire wolf for themselves and have a pet woolly mouse or something. So,
but as Jeff Goldblum said, as Dr. Ian Malcolm, is but your scientists got caught up in so much that whether they could, they stopped it whether they should. Right. Just because you can do a thing, and he's
with nature, slap it on a lunchbox.
He goes, if you call whatever, he goes, I call the rape of the natural world. There's a lot of truth to that.
Oh yeah, you stood on the shoulders of giants, and you were so caught up in the fact that you didn't ask whether you should.
Before you knew what you had, and now you're selling it. You're selling.
I love when he goes full Goldblum. There's another national treasure, by the way. He was so good, and I imagine you saw Wicked. I think we talked about it.
Yes.
He was Goldblum at his Goldblumiest.
Yep.
And I love when he's just allowed to lean right into himself. And trust me, when you're in Boston Symphony Hall and this moment's coming, and the music is swelling, and it's that scene where they're locked inside the computer room, trying to get Jurassic Park back online, and they cut to Goldblum with laying on his side, repose with his shirt open. The place just went bananas.
A couple of things here. the Karen Reed trial, which I really don't follow. I live vicariously through you and some others and everything else. So what is the latest I hear? 2 left sneakers. Is that what I'm hearing? Who fucking botched that? Is that I don't even know the background of it a little bit, but is that what I saw or heard yesterday? The Karen Reed trial, some evidence.
Yes,
by,
well,
by the plaintiff for the cops put on 2 left sneakers.
Yeah, well, the prosecution theory of the case is that he was struck by his girlfriend's car in a blizzard, thrown into the front yard. The alternative theory that I happen to believe in is that she dropped him off. He went into the house. It went sideways. Fight breaks out, including getting attacked by a dog. They panicked. They didn't know what to do. They put him out in the spot where he was found to hide the fact that what happened and pretend he never got into the house. Well, he's found having been dropped off, without, going into the house with just a T-shirt on and missing a shoe. So who gets out of a car in a blizzard like that? That's what you do when you're in a house. You go in, you take off your coat and whatever. So that doesn't hold water. Well, one cop pulled the sneaker that they found near him that was off his body out of a bag, and it's like a left shoe. And the other cop pulls it out and he goes, and this is the left shoe. Wait, this is the right shoe. And he's reading the evidence bag to try to figure out where it came from. It's just, I mean, I personally lean strongly towards this is a massive cover-up because this is a family of law enforcement officers who had a brother who was on the Canton police force and the state trooper who was in charge of the investigation, who's since been fired and disgraced. He knew the family. The fact that he didn't immediately recuse himself, I mean, it's what lawyers call the fruit of the poison tree. Mm-hmm. Once you are lying about things, then everything else you get out of that is useless. So at this point, it's just bizarro world. And they bring in this forensics investigator, this woman who has that thing that people do sometimes, mostly women do it, where they talk to adults like it's circle time at Bridges to Learning preschool. Like she's telling the jury, she's trying to talk about like deleting data from your phone. And she's putting it like this. Let's say you order a pizza and the people at the next table they think it's breakfast, so they order waffles and pancakes. I'm not making this up.
No, you're right. I know.
And it comes and it's a pepperoni pizza and you don't eat pepperoni. So when you send it back, you've now deleted the pizza. And it's unbelievable. And she's talking about like searching in incognito mode.
What's the judge's face looks like? What's the judge's expression as this shit is being? He must be like
it's a woman.
He must want to do this. Just like just get the fuck out. Everybody out.
It's a woman. Her name is Beverly Canone. By full disclosure, I worked with her on many occasions, but I don't have any sort of relationship with her. She's considered by a lot of people to be part of this cabal that's hiding and everything. I'm not going that far. I think it's a cluster that she's trying to like manage, and some of her rulings that people go nuts about. I go, at some point you just got to say, well, I think this is nonsense, but I'm going to allow it in, and then you can argue the case. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is so much like exporting mass hole culture to the world. Just the things like sidebar, Your Honor. I mean, the lead prosecutor the second time around, because obviously it's on retrial, was Whitey Bulger's defense lawyer. Just again, so this is us. This is Massachusetts.
I was waiting for a Denny Crane and Alan Shore to come through the door, and take over.
Right, exactly. And like after this is over, they'll have a glass of scotch on the balcony.
That had and party.
There was one point, and this sums up the mass whole part of this, where they were out at a bar. It all began at a bar on a Saturday night.
By the way, she didn't. I saw the one thing on Cinemax. She did what, 8 or 9 shots? 9.
Oh yeah. She was loaded. Which, by the way, if that's the case, and she backed into him, that's not murder. So already you've overcharged this thing. Like that's
vehicular homicide, whatever.
Yeah. Well, in the first one, it came out that they were trying to get one of the guys out to the bar, and they're texting him. He's like, I'm kind of settled in. The weather's like, come on, come out to the bar. Stop being such a pussy, right? And then they text him, Sully's here. And I go, that's the most Norfolk County, Massachusetts thing in the world. If you walk into any bar in Norfolk County, which is the South Shore of Boston, and you go, Sully, 79% of guys are going to go, what? Yeah.
Or Charlestown.
or Charlestown, yeah. And one of the guys was drinking Jameson and ginger. I was drinking Jameson and ginger. Like, did you stay at the house long? No, all they had was beer. I just drink Jameson and ginger. Like, and they all went on a trip to Aruba over like around New Year's.
I saw this.
30 people. An argument broke out because the eventual victim was seen hugging a girl who turns out was like his goddaughter or something like that, but it was a misunderstanding. And you had a name for her? Yeah, we call her a babysitter with benefits. I'm like, oh, this is it. Sidebar. It's unbelievable. And
if
I know so many people.
It wouldn't be so funny, but somebody's dead. But it's just like, wow. I mean,
right? It becomes absurd. And a good friend of mine just told me, and I hadn't spoken to him in a while. He said that the victim, again, John O'Keefe, Boston police officer, had an unblemished record, was raising his niece and nephew after their parents died of separate illnesses with a month apart. That he was just a good guy. He was a personal friend of my friend who said, when my friend told me when his own father died, O'Keefe and his dad came and sat with them and just would comfort him. And so, you have to keep in mind what's really at stake here, but it's all the circus around it. It happens in America every once in a while with these trials. I mean, certainly this is like a local OJ trial in that it's all about craziness. There's people out protesting in the streets.
I know they're obsessed. People are obsessed. I know a friend of mine that goes to the house once a week to take pictures.
Oh, yeah. Like someone told me last weekend they were coming off an exit and there's a bunch of people with signs protesting and vulgar signs and inappropriate stuff. It's like, here's the thing. I do think that she's like a fall guy for something else that happened. I can't prove that, but I think the evidence suggests it. Having said that, let's get 12 people good and true from the community, put them in a box, take up 2 months of their lives, ask them to be neutral and make a decision. That's the way you do it, not holding signs at some exit. I have a lawyer friend who knows Hank Brennan, the prosecutor, who told me that his tires got slashed. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, you don't speak for me, people who are doing that stuff.
I loved one of the earlier bits that got Sebastian Maniscalco funny. We'll get to your appearance coming up this weekend as well. He's like, you get these people outside the courtroom, justice for Lindsay, justice for Lindsay. I mean, Lindsay Lohan with a car. Yeah. He's like, and then he pauses. He's like, no job? I mean, you got time to be out here doing that. What do you do? You're not going to prove anything. You're not going to change anybody that's inside that courtroom's mind because you're out there acting like an idiot with a stupid sign that is irrelevant to anything. You know,
exactly.
You get the evidence? Did you collect? I mean, what is the purpose of it? I don't get it. I really don't.
Is your time of so little value to you? Do you remember there was a nanny on trial in the late 80s, late 90s in Cambridge for a baby died in her care. And I was working in Cambridge at that time. And I went by a time or two to the people that were outside the courthouse. And the courthouse there, it's a 20-story building, right? And they're out on the sidewalk walking in circles with their signs, hey, yo, she's a nice lady. We know, whatever the heck they were saying. And you looked at those people and when you didn't see them on the news, you saw them in person, you realized every one of them, if they weren't there protesting that, would be somewhere else protesting some other thing. It's like their identity. It's some connection that they make. It's like a community for them. And there were maybe 9 of them. But the TV cameras would put it down. They put the camera down on the sidewalk, looking up, so that at that angle it looks like a multitude. But it's really just these sad people that you really should be going to their Narcotics Anonymous meetings instead.
When I was a kid and I first moved to Narragansett, Rhode Island, and of course Newport is right across the way, 20 minutes away, quicker by boat, by the way. But how do you think the Klaus von Bülow trial would have gone over today? Like, I mean, that was a huge thing back then. The murder and all that stuff, and needles and diabetic stuff and all that, and the mansions where we had my senior prom, by the way, was at Rosecliff. So I mean, I didn't know. Everybody, because it was a Rhode Island thing, and it captured the whole world got involved. It was like the original, one of the original OJ, the Klaus von Bülow thing. They made it into a movie.
Absolutely, it got a movie with Jeremy Irons, right?
Jeremy Irons, yes,
Okay.
and who played Dershowitz? Richard Dreyfuss.
No,
I can't remember.
Silver, maybe. Yeah, but the fact is, it got one movie. If it was happening today, wall-to-wall coverage on court TV, there'd be 24 lawyers on YouTube doing 8 hours a day of themselves in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, like commenting at the testimony live, because there's dozens of that going on with Karen Reed now. And she's just a woman from Fall River. She certainly isn't one of the Von Bülows, But yeah, we've already seen the documentaries. And by the way, they're not paying me billable hours to give them legal advice. Keep this woman away from a camera, right? It's not helping. She did that documentary I mentioned on Max, and they're using it. The prosecution's using it in court because she's sitting there talking about how hammered she was and bad mouthing
they got the camera. They have the camera. They got the video of them at the bar with the shots lined up. All of them.
Yes, yeah, and even nobody came out good in that documentary, and not even the defense lawyers who they're in their office and they're strategizing and stuff. And I know what they were going for. It just comes out kind of a version of the local personal injury lawyer who's standing at the table in the boardroom going, we're going to get our clients every penny that they have coming to them. It's just an ad for your law firm or whatever, your defense firm. So,
oh my God.
Not everyone's convinced that she's innocent. I have a good friend who's a defense lawyer, has been a prosecutor in the past. He continually tells me it's all just nonsense. And he was on jury duty for this thing. My God. Yeah. The judge looked at him like, what are you doing here? And he eventually got dismissed, but he had to sit there for half a day. And somehow they found 18 people that had no prior knowledge of this thing, which is, it seems astonishing. But then again, every poll you ever see, there's always that percentage at the bottom that says, don't know, do you identify as Democrat? 49%, Republican, 48%, don't know, 3%. Of the people who don't know, are they male? 50%, female, 43%, don't know. And there's people who didn't. And,
do you see that guy? There's a younger guy on Facebook. It's on the reels, and he goes around Times Square, and it pops up on my Facebook page occasionally. And he just asks the normal people of all colors, shapes, and sizes. He'll say, what country is Hawaii in? Huh? Country? Some people say Canada. He'll say, if you had $20 and gave me $10, how much would you have left? Huh? I mean, if aliens are watching, now would be the time to invade. I mean, it is what country is the Great Wall of China in? Country?
Yeah.
And then they absolutely have no idea. It is scary fright. These are not little kids either. These are adults. A lot of them probably in their late teens, early 20s, but the stupidest people on the planet. I mean, it really.
And they have all the knowledge in human history that has been recorded and preserved in a rectangle in their pocket, and they still can't answer these questions. It's in the words of the great George Carlin, who said this 50 years ago, think of how stupid the average person is. Now realize 50% of people are dumber than him.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And Stern used to do this with playmates or whatever. He'd ask them these general knowledge questions. Yeah. Where is Big Ben located? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the questions smarter than a fifth grader, these people will not be able to answer. Not even close. They can't subtract 20 from 10. All right.
Yeah.
The last thing here. and then we'll get to your appearance coming up. But amazing day yesterday. American Cardinal Robert Francis Provost, a.k.a. Pope Leo the 14th, XIV, from Villanova. I want to find footage to see if he stormed the floor in 85 when they beat Georgetown, if he was around. That's number one. Number two, he grew up on the south side of Chicago, rough area, and as a Cubs fan, tough to do that over there. Yeah. Will he ever come out at some point with a Cubs hat on and a Bears jersey in front of at St. Peter's, and
yeah, my first reaction was USA, USA, in your face, Burkina Faso. Take that, Sri Lanka. Woo, we're number one. Yeah, America. No, I did not see. I actually wrote about this on Barstool when Francis first passed away. Is America ready? Is the world ready for an American Pope? And decided, nope, unequivocally, there's not. And not only was I wrong, but the people who were right about it, and I posted this yesterday afternoon, the people who went into the betting market on this got a 6,000% return on investment.
Oh.
His odds are like 1.2 to like 1.
So $1 would have brought back 600.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And like, how did they know? The people who wagered on that, like, it's literally the most secretive procedure in civilization, right? They're locked into the Sistine Chapel. The word conclave means locked door.
Yes. Did you see the movie yet, by the way?
I have no interest. I know enough about it to just say.
I told you. All right, just do me a favor. Fast forward to the last 15 minutes, okay? And then I don't want to ruin the twist for you.
Well, I know the twist. The Irish Rose watched it, and when she was done, she said, what is for me? Like, I knew that's how it ended. Zero. The one who's traditional is, a bad guy and who's probably like chasing the secretaries around. Like, just no. And so I'll tell you who I wanted to win. I would have loved Bishop Sarah Cardinal Sarah, from Africa. Very traditional guy, very solid, rock rib, strong, iron spine on him. But I wanted Cardinal Pizzaballa. His name was Pizzaballa, which, by the way, if you're ever at the Outback Steakhouse, try the Pizzaballa app. It's fantastic. And, but
next time I go to the cigar bar, I love that because at the world's greatest cigar bar down here in Fort Myers at Gulf Coast Center, what's the name of the place you just said?
Outback Steakhouse.
Outback Steakhouse right next door, and they serve you at the cigar bar. They serve food. There's menus behind the bar. They come and serve you whatever you want.
Okay, next spring training, put that on the list. Right, mark that. I'm writing that down.
Absolutely. There's not many cigar bars that will serve you food.
So, I just thought that the world isn't ready for an American Pope because, however we perceive ourselves, we're the good guys in every movie, whatever. We got Superman, you guys don't, or whatever. Yeah. But I think to the rest of the world, we're still like the noisy neighbor. Like, they kind of like our lavish lifestyle in a way, but we're annoying. We throw loud parties. They go until all hours of the night. People are peeing in their bushes. They, drive away in our big, loud SUVs and stuff in the morning, and they're sick of our crap. And yet, they went to this guy, and it relatively didn't take that much time, really. I mean,
I got it all figured out. If I'm his PR agent, religion aside and world peace aside, I mean, first off, he's got to come to Soldier Field. He's got to throw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field. I want him to drop the puck in Chicago, for the Blackhawk game, and a lot of other stuff. And of course, attend the Villanova game as well. So
and Big
East won, ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10, nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, funny though, being from outside Chicago and jumping to Villanova instead of that's Notre Dame country. I mean, Illinois. The Irish Rose went to St. Mary's, which is in South Bend.
Both Jesuit schools.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I don't begrudge them. Villanova. Look, I got friends from Villanova. Went there. I texted them and said, "Okay, so your school gets the Pope, my alma mater gets Bill Belichick's girlfriend. pretty much sums up my education right
Where is it? West Bridgewater State or
Bridgewater State University?
Yeah.
Bridgewater, for you listeners who don't know, is a mid-sized town in Massachusetts that has 2 suburbs. There's Bridgewater, there's West Bridgewater, and there's East Bridgewater. Like, how many did we need? Like,
what's the cool sports bar down there we used to hang out at once in a while? I also played golf around that area too. There's a really big sports bar down there.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did a show there before.
Oh, it's changed a bunch of times. Right now, it's the Abington Ale House is down by there. Yeah, the one that's got the haunted mansion out back. You know, it's open all during the fall, and yeah, these are amazing times. You know, I mean, Habeam Pappas. I kind of wanted to. I looked up the regnal names of past popes, and so he's the 267th. Interestingly, Francis is the only Francis we have ever had, which is it's astonishing because it's such a common and very Catholic name. But I wanted whoever this pope was to take the name. There's only been one. It was in the 10th century. Pete, there was a Pope Lando.
Oh my God!
I was up in Orlando too. Hello, what have we here?
How you doing, Chewbacca? Still hanging around this loser?
What are you doing, you old pirate? Like, you know, this deal's getting worse by the minute. He could have won a space cape. Oh.
Trevor Harris says, "What up, Pete? What up, Trevor? What sportsbook had the Pope betting odds? I know it wasn't at Hard Rock down here. That's true." He says this college had a semester of John Gruden at Muskingum University.
Yeah, the DraftKings, for instance, didn't take odds on this, so I don't mind promoting another betting site because it's not a rival. But and this group was amazing to follow during the election because they were ahead of the curve on everything, but it's Polymarket. So I don't know if it's like a Bitcoin market. I don't really understand that kind of stuff. Like my money is in Wheel of Fortune gift certificates. That's the currency I like to travel. But they had the odds all laid out on that. And I'm like, how do you know how to wager on this? Like, is there like a Cardinal Combine? It's like we get their numbers.
6,001 odds. I mean, just throwing a couple of bucks. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people did that just for the hell of it. It's only $2. $2 wins you back 1,200. You know, but if somebody's out there putting like 100,000 on it or something, then that's, you know, if you got that kind of, I mean, that's unbelievable. Even $100 would have brought you back 60 grand.
Yeah, Provost gives a really good score on his Latin, his derivations. He can even translate stuff into Greek. So yeah, he really impressed the scouts at the previous conference.
But he's got to be a sports fan, right? He's got to be a sports fan. I heard his brother this morning, who seemed like a great guy, telling, you know, and it sounds like he's a sports fan. I hope some part of that he gets to talk about. You know,
before I came on with him, my son texted to say that he saw an interview with his brothers.
Me too. I saw the brothers.
We were like playing Wordle the other day, and then like he gets called to the conclave, and we're kind of like razzing him about that, like, oh yeah, okay, you're gonna have a big job or whatever to do, and you know, all right, good luck, you know, thinking nothing but the best, and then he ends up winning the thing. It's unbelievable. What a story. It just, you know, as trying to be a good Catholic boy myself, I'm you know, praying that we're in the best hands, you know, that the Holy Spirit does its thing and keeps guiding us. And this is how it's been 2,000 years and counting that this institution has maintained itself. And I personally, I don't think it happens by going with the whims of whatever the new popular thing is. I think like it's all right there in black and white in the Gospels, in the words of the person, the God that we're all following here. And I
hope he gives out a special benediction for the Celtics, please. I'm going to burn in hell just for my antics in the second half.
But I
didn't want to. We don't want to get into it.
Yeah, there's black smoke coming out of the top of TD Garden right now.
I'm still not giving up hope. I'm not giving up hope.
I don't think we're going to get it from the Pope, given the fact that he's undoubtedly a Bulls fan. I mean, that was prime prime Bulls season when he was like a young man was the Jordan Pippen days. So yeah, these are crazy times. I do think the Celtics can't continue to miss 14 consecutive shots and blow 20-point leads.
No.
I think they've bagged their limit of blowing 20-point leads, and this is frankly the superior team.
Well,
in a 7-game series, the superior team will come out on top 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is going to be that one exception.
I agree. Now, how much material you have? A show coming up, or a couple of shows coming up this weekend. I saw you were at Quan's in Hanover,
Quan's in Hanover. Thank you for that. Yeah, and so again tonight I'm going to see the Jaws at the Pops. Tomorrow night I've got comedy. In between, tomorrow afternoon, no word of a lie, the North Shore Music Circus up in Beverly, north of Boston, obviously, is a play that was on Broadway. It's now touring called The Shark is Broken, and it's about the making of Jaws. And on Broadway, Robert Shaw's son played Quint.
Oh my God!
Robert Shaw in the word. I hear it's fantastic. I can't believe it's come this close.
Wow.
And while I don't want to give up the middle of my Saturday, like I'm so doing that, and then
that's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of shows pre-booked down the Cape, like in August, and I'll book some in the meantime. But for now, I'll be very happy to have my weekends open. Summer has come to America's hometown of Plymouth, Massachusetts, and I hope to join you many times between now.
That's awesome. Who's playing Spielberg?
That'll find out. I'm sure by now it's just like equity actors, torn companies or whatever. But I'll be fascinated to see. A friend of my Irish Roses, her girlfriend saw it and said, and she doesn't even care about Jaws the way you or I do, and she loved it. So it's truly one of the most amazing stories in the history of Hollywood. How if that shark had worked, it would have been a monster movie. Because it didn't, and it almost killed Spielberg and derailed his career before it ever got going, he created my favorite movie of all time because it didn't work.
Yep. And there's no question about it. Angel, do you have anything before we let Jerry go?
I just want to know when Jerry's coming on at Siskel and Ebert, the new version of it, because it's entertaining beyond belief what Jerry states every week. So I'm just throwing it out there, Jerry. What could we call it possibly?
Oh boy, you know what? I wouldn't mind. Tarantino has a podcast with him and a guy that he used to work with at Video Archives, where he got his start. just a video rental store, and they just talk about movies that they love from the past, and a lot of them are so obscure, and you got to be a true cinephile to get 10% of them.
But you and I could do that. You and I could do that easily.
Absolutely.
Every day. Easily.
I don't think we'd go quite as deep into obscurity like they'll do, like, this Italian film and this one from Japan.
Foreign films. I agree.
I'm at the gym and I'm listening to this one they did about the love bug, which came out when I was like 6 years old, 7 years old. So total, and he's about my age, so it was like really a wheelhouse conversation for me. And things I'd forgotten, like Michelle Williams, I think Michelle Lee is the love interest in there, and how hot she is. So the movie introduces her by the Dean Jones guy is walking down the street, and he looks into the window of this car dealership, and there's this pair of legs underneath the sign that says, "Check out these." And she's putting it up on the wall, and then the next sign is imports. But you just saw, so it's like it totally was over my head. And as I'm listening to this conversation, fellas, I swear to you, in my head I go, I had the love bug on Viewmaster.
Me too.
Loved that View. And then within seconds,
I had Talking Viewmaster at one point.
And then within seconds of me thinking this, Tarantino goes, listen, I had the love bug on fucking Viewmaster, okay, man? Like, Bonnie comes home from the hospital, okay?
You click
I don't need to be told my coffee's good, all right? but like, so it's like you, me, him.
Oh God!
If you're of that time, you have that certain brain that you and I have, and Angela, I would absolutely love to do something like that. There's a lot of them out there, and some of them are better than others. But
nobody be better than us. Nobody be better than us.
Yeah, and we don't even prep for this.
EI is still kicking themselves that they never paired us together permanently because we would have fucking killed it. We know it. They know it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, they sent you all the way to paradise. You're doing okay. You landed on your feet as everybody knew you would, and you're standing tall as always.
Well, sorry, I'm so proud of you. I still love Barstool. Love Dave. Dave's last pizza review before I let you go the other day. There was a guy. Obviously, he was mentally and physically a little bit messed up, but. Dave's doing I forget. I think it's in New York, but he's doing a pizza review for a slice. This guy comes out with no arms, yet he's got a bag attached under the sleeve to either some spiky thing and he says something to Dave. He said something to Dave Portnoy, El Prez. Speechless. Dave doesn't get speechless about anything. So they saw about 30-second clip of the guy still yapping. He's walking away. And the first thing Dave's like, how's he carrying the bag? And then there's a big pause again. And he's like, I'm speechless. And I never get speechless. I don't know what to say to that. It's really funny. Anyway.
Count your blessings, Exactly. And the fact that people out there still can do that stuff, like can be fully functioning without the ability to be fully functioning, to put it different, as long as, and we can all be proud of someone like that and take solace in knowing that they're out there living their lives. Within reason. Like I've been saying this on stage lately, like we all think the best of people who are like disabled or whatever. But if I'm on a plane and I see a guy coming in, with sunglasses and a seeing eye dog, I'm like, good for him. Look at this guy, just still living his life. I just want to see him take a right and come down the aisle, not a left and then get into the pilot seat, right? Like I want to say, he's so stunning and brave. I mean, if I'm going down the beach for the third time, I'm caught in an undertow, and I call for help, I want the lifeguard to look like Christopher Reeve's as Superman, not Christopher Reeve in the wheelchair with a blow tube.
Yeah,
exactly. I know that's cruel, but I think we're all in one mind on that.
Lastly, how much material will you get out of the new Pope?
He's got to start talking. I gotta start hearing that. If he has the Chicago accent,
my God,
he just speaking
Italian.
I had some bratwurst.
That'll be funny. Yeah.
Ditka. I just needed one Ditka out of this guy. When Chris Farley had the near-death experience, and he revives himself, and they go, "Did you go to heaven again?" Yeah. Went down the white light. Did you see Brian Piccolo? Yeah.
What if the pizza were named Ditka? Anyway. All right, Jerry, you're the best. Jerry Thornton, Barstool Sports, author. Go on. What else you need to plug?
From Darkness to Dynasty, 6 Rings, 2 books about the history of the Patriots. Perfect Time for Father's Day, available online or wherever fine books are sold. But beyond that, I'm just going to go back to living my quiet life of leisure here as a country gentleman in stately Thornton Manor, and pray that the Celtics extend the winter a little bit more and get jazzed up for Patriots training camp.
Mr. Keith Lockhart is still conducting, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes. Well, he's got a point. You got to meet him before. I'm sure you have. I mean, I have. He's a great guy. He's got to call you out and just hey, Jerry Thornton in the house.
Yeah. And this is my idea of culture, by the way. I'm going to the Symphony Hall. What are they doing? Like Brahms? They're doing Wagner's Ring Cycle, maybe Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. Not Jaws.
Jaws.
They're doing Jaws. What?
It's too bad John couldn't come with Keith, because he still does some stuff from time to time out in Western Mass. That would be something if they ever lured him to come down, but I know he doesn't like doing that stuff much anymore.
That was 50 years ago, and the guy's still on top of his game. Go figure. What a world.
Jerry, you are the best. Thank you so much for taking an hour and 14 minutes. You're the man.
All right. It was my pleasure. Angel, good to talk to you. And
Tell the Irish Roseanne we said hello.
I sure will. And the best to the lovely Elaine. And we'll be in touch soon, fellas. Thanks for everything.
Awesome. Thanks so much. That was fantastic. Great stuff, as always, man. My face hurts. I'm laughing so hard. It's just unbelievable. Oh, man.
It would work. Let's see. Thornton and Sheppard? Movie review?
This next would be Sheppard and Thornton. But I don't care. I would just have a creative name with Pete Sheppard and Jerry Thornton. But I don't care. Whatever works. All right, Angel. That's going to do it for this show. And anything else coming up on the show? On the network, I should say.
No. Today is Friday, so not much other than our replays. Obviously, by the way, thanks those who not only download the app, but listening over to the radio station. It's picked up a lot. There's still more music I need to add to it as well, but thank you guys and girls as well to listen in. So I do appreciate it, and it shows a lot of love and support for us. So if anything, thank you very much.
Thank you all. Hopefully we'll be back here on Monday at 7 a.m. and the Celtics would have cut the lead to 2-1. If not, the bag goes back on the head. All right, again, thanks to Jerry Thornton, Barstool Sports. Thanks to Angel Martinez and all of you for checking out the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. I am back Monday morning at 7 a.m. Have a great weekend, everybody, and happy Mother's Day, ladies. Happy Mother's Day. Yes. We'll talk Monday at 7 a.m. See ya.